You're listening to Downey Public Radio. Up next is Pryant and Bat, Prodcast Hourn.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
You know, not a day goes by that I hear that clip and I just think about how beautiful it is to be alive.
Yes, it truly is a stirring speech and indelibly marked on our hearts, souls, and if we carry it with us, it will definitely, hopefully, impact this nation and maybe even the world.
You know, it's really left a mark on my soul. A scar, but scars were meant to heal.
I'd like to think that it's touched me from my heart to my soul, as in the sole of my shoes. And I feel like it runs through my veins constantly, and that it will, including in my bodily fluids as I pass them on to the next generation.
It has touched me deep. So deep below even the belt line deep.
Well, you know, you guys, we've run down this rabbit hole of inspiration just thinking about Dr. King's words. We forgot to introduce ourselves and to talk about the new format of the show.
Yes.
Well, I'm Pryant, and to my left here is Bat.
Good morning, and I'm glad that we can all be joined in this wonderful circle of intellectual conversation.
It's good to see you, Bat, and also you, Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
And you too, Owen.
Thank you. It's good to see you too. How was the drive over, by the way?
Oh, you know, the drive, it's the 5, which I call the Golden State Freeway, because because this is our golden state, that we only have one and we cannot waste it. As I was driving, though, I could not help but notice
By the way,
a stray dog.
Sorry that we're laughing. We really are taking this seriously. Go on.
I smoked a lot of weed.
I was driving down the freeway, and I saw a lone dog in a cemetery. And as I looked, I saw the dog squatting over a gravesite. And I thought, how cruel a world this is.
You know, I guess it depends on how you look at things. 'Cause that dog relieving himself on a grave is only breathing new life into flowers.
I realized that all elements are in one, and we are all one, as we are one with the dog's defecation on this grave, and the person in this grave is one with us.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up, Bat, but it's true that fertilizer, if you think about it, the dog's bowel movement was fertilizer, and it will only lead to life. So, in effect, he was pooping on death to create life.
It's just Mother Earth's gift that keeps on giving.
That is a beautiful thought.
It is. Well, what else is on the docket?
Well, first, I'd just like to say that I want to give my peace and my love to the freedom fighters of Hezbollah who have been fighting Sorry, really good weed we had. I just want to just relieve my body love
Release.
to the freedom fighters of Hezbollah, and because they are spreading their Hezbollah
Well,
to the Middle East.
Yes. Hopefully one day
Sorry, I have a really bad gag reflex.
the land of Palestine, because we all know it isn't called Israel and has never had an historical tie to that name. Hopefully Palestine will finally be liberated.
You're very brave to have made such a powerful statement this early in the recording, sir.
Well, I mean,
I
it's
applaud
the
you.
truth. You know, I have to stand up for the truth on this broadcast.
Yes, and there's so many people that seek to tear us down, and we're merely peaceful warriors in this land of confusion.
And Hezbollah, I'd like to remind those who think that they're bloodthirsty savages, that they behead because they love.
Right, it's only through their warfare that we can achieve peace. And in fact, the more they kill innocents, use their own kind to shield them from harm, the closer we get to peace in that region.
And you know, speaking of Hezbollah, my laundromat, which is an all-organic cloth laundromat, it's actually run by a former member of Hezbollah. And I must say, he's...
Oh, is that
This is
Mohammed?
Yes, Mohammed.
Yes.
And this is in the heart of Echo Park, my stomping grounds.
Yeah.
And I cannot say a bad word about the man. He's...
Can you please give me the address, because I'd like to make him some wheatgrass cookies.
I'll give it to you off air, because I believe that... Well, maybe we'll put a bumper at the end of the show, because I would love to give Mohammed some more business.
We should interview Muhammad sometime also, as well, in the future.
I think he's ripe for a community at large segment of our show. Maybe one
yes.
Local heroes.
Local heroes.
Well, I would say that in light of such an inspiring figure as Muhammad, I would also like to share with you a story about another inspiring man. Would you guys mind if I told
No,
a story?
please.
No, please.
Please.
Well,
No, please.
yes,
Please. No. No, please.
Very good weed, by the way.
Please
yes,
go on.
I remember once I was hanging out with the famed actor and Native American activist Russell Means. He just recently passed away, by the way.
Rest in peace.
Yes. If you don't know him from his he was in Dances with Wolves and Last of the Mohicans, among others, and he had a terrific if you have seen his work. But anyway, we were in a diner just outside a Sioux Indian reservation one time, and it was called Wounded Knee, by the way. And sorry, I'm laughing. It's really not that humorous a story, but as we sat and ate, he told me something so wise, I'll never forget it. He said in his inimitable tone, and I'll try to approximate how he said it, but he said, Owen, in life, stand tall as cedar, be as strong as oak, and as wise as sequoia. And when he said that, I was so stunned, so amazed, I nearly spit out my vegetarian egg sardou. I was just bowled over by that. It was just such a beautiful statement. And later on, I remember talking to my wife, Owen Burnham-Schumacher. For those who don't know, we went the hyphenated route to emphasize the mutuality of our relationship. And I remember telling her what Russell had told me and how beautiful it was. And she was just as blown away by it as I was. Later on, I remember my wife and I drank spiced Assam tea and had tantric sex till dawn.
Such a beautiful love that you have.
It was a beautiful time, and
I'm glad you videoed that. It was wonderful to watch too.
It was, and all the while having tantric sex with my beautiful wife, I kept thinking, be as strong as the oak for your wife. Be as strong as the oak all night long.
The beautiful wood metaphor.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever wake up in the morning and your heart is oak?
It's often okay as I wake up.
Well, oftentimes my heart melts for Hezbollah and their heroic aim.
My heart just weeps for them. For
It
what
truly
they
does.
I mean, every bus they bomb gets them closer to freedom.
Not a laughing matter at all.
No,
Not a laughing
no.
matter. We
I
apologize.
appreciate both of your strengths in coping with these feelings that erupt inside of you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Well, we all know that anger, that tumult we feel within, is actually in the end not healthy. So we try to channel it as best we can through yoga and various meditation practices.
Such as salvia.
Salvia works. We may even be on salvia right now, judging by how we're talking.
Now, I'm very inspired by your words,
Oh,
Owen.
thanks so much. Yeah, Russell was a beautiful soul, a beautiful man.
I would just like to share something of my own for a segment that I like to call the Hero's Corner.
Oh, please go on. Go on.
And
Speak with the strength of Dr. King.
I opening up, I just like to say that this is a true man of courage.
Yes.
This is a true freedom fighter. I just like to read his short biography.
Please do.
Born in New York in 1930. Sorry, I'm getting weepy. Sorry, I'm getting very emotional.
A tear has
Yes.
already struck my eye.
I mean, it's understandable given this person's impact on society. I'm sure you've selected a true hero. Go on.
Born in New York in 1930, gay rights activist and community leader Harvey Milk made history as one of the first openly homosexual politicians to hold office when he was elected to San Francisco's Board of Supervisors in 1977. He was tragically shot and killed the following year, and numerous books and films have been made about him to this day.
Shameful. Absolutely shameful, by
Shameful.
the way.
Shame.
But I'm glad that his name is being kept alive by other freedom fighters such as Sean Penn, also a member of Hezbollah.
On his free time.
And
He does what he can on the weekends.
I would just like to give an earth salute to Mr. Milk and Mr. Penn.
Absolutely. Here.
Do you,
I second that.
again, Pryant, just so your words so beautiful that it just made me think about how many good souls we've lost in the 20th century.
You can let it out. You can let it out because I feel it too.
Why are they winning? Why do we let them win?
I don't
Bat,
I don't know why we do.
Bat, just remember that we extend ourselves so much. We just pull from our souls so much that it's okay to spread yourself thin.
It is for the service in which you've devoted yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. I apologize for my outburst, but I do realize that the three of us we're doing the work of Dr. King and Mr.
Well, that's
Milk.
our hope. That's our hope because it's lofty. It's lofty. You know, to attain that, I don't know whether we ever will, but we can try.
Well, we owe it to Mother Earth, you know.
We are
I
just
mean,
merely grains of sand.
If nobody else fights for human rights, who will?
Well, we need justice in this world, and who knows if we'll ever get it.
Who will fight for the lotus flowers in the swamps?
Obviously, us three.
We
You can
must.
count us.
We must be as strong as oak. Everybody at home.
Yes, and as wise as sequoia,
And as tall as cedar.
as tall as cedar. Thank you. See, you remembered it. Okay.
Well, it's like I
It's been
mentioned earlier.
ingrained.
It's left a scar on my soul. But
has.
scars were meant to heal.
Oh, and your words have been scratched into my common cedar tree
Yes,
as if two teenagers in love were carving their initials.
that's really beautiful. I'd like to get a tattoo of that on my face.
Well, if you want an organic tattoo, I know. My local yogi, he does organic tattoos, and he only uses water-based, fully organic, soluble inks.
Is his name Boo Boo?
No, it's Booba.
Booba.
But
Yogi Boo Boo.
Boo-Boo's very good too.
Is that Maharishi Buburaga? Full name?
Booba Raga. It's his
Booba Raga.
cousin.
Booba.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, he's a really good guy.
Yeah, we went to this one Bangladesh restaurant one time and ate with our hands. Have you ever done that before?
I've been eating with my hands since I was a baby, because my mother believes that the casting of silverware creates too much pollutants in the air.
Noise
And I'm gonna
pollution.
That too. I'm gonna have to agree with her, because every single fork and spoon and knife and spork that is casted,
Especially the sporks.
a whale dies.
Bless that woman.
Bless the whales.
Your mother is a woman of higher consciousness. How do you say that word? Is it just conscious or
Consciousness.
consciousness? Is it?
Consciousness.
Okay. I was going to say, let's see. You were talking about silverware. Yes, eating with your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Us Westerners, we are kind of shocked, caught off guard when we see an Indian man eating rice with his hands. When really the irony is we all are born into this world eating with our hands. And isn't the Indian man then closer to the earth by doing without man-made instruments?
I think if you were to really fully realize your earthly essence, and when you eat with your hands, it really is a spiritual connection that you have.
Yes.
And when you eat with your hands, you are earth.
You are. So in essence, you're earth eating earth, and it's that simpatico, that interconnectedness that is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And, I'm not a murderer, but I'll murder me some rice.
I, for one, pray for the day. Oh, I actually don't pray, but I hope for one day that we can return to the womb and ingest nourishment as we did in the womb through the fallopian fluids.
It's funny you say that. I was just longing for that yesterday. Well, how about a lightning round?
Oh,
I feel we've developed a nice breezy tone.
I think we need to.
We really have. We're taking it a little fast right now, though.
Yeah.
We don't always go this speedy, but
Yeah. But I think the viewers wouldn't mind if we got a little loony.
yeah, let's get a little crazy.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready to open my shirt collar.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
I must say that those vegan marijuana brownies have really taken their toll on us.
I didn't mean to interject there, Owen, but I was wondering if, with all this talk of this drug marijuana, if I could actually begin the lightning round with my questions.
Please do. We're all pacifists here, and we're not competitors. We're all in this together.
Yes.
I'd just like to add real quick that I haven't cried out of my eyes this much in a while.
It's beautiful.
It definitely is. It always is.
Are we ready?
Go ahead.
Please do. Boy, this is going fast.
The first question.
Slow down. Whoa. Okay.
The first question is: the modern hardcore drug known as marijuana and/or cannabis is slowly creeping into our schools. What are your thoughts on this epidemic, and can we stop it?
No sense in stopping it. No reason to stop it, I say. And also, like products, like hemp, should also be legalized. Given their usefulness, you can make all sorts of fabrics and textiles with hemp. I believe that marijuana is a gift from Mother Earth.
I think that when the time comes, that when a child is ready for his eyes to be opened, that the plant can reveal to him or her a wealth of knowledge.
Absolutely. And the Mesoamericans have known about that for the longest time, and we're playing catch up.
All I can say is, it's not an epidemic. It should be considered an awakening.
Absolutely.
I agree with both of you, and I actually was about to receive both of your answers and repeat them back to you, but I thank you for your contributions. And I forgot to mention that these are all actually not questions of mine, but questions from anonymous listeners to our broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
This next question is: I've come to notice that women's skirts have slowly risen up the thigh, and blouses have slowly become, on average, one button less buttoned, especially in the workplace. What is to blame?
Do you want to take this one?
I don't believe that there is any blame at all. That if it rides up the skirt a little bit, let it ride. We are all born naked, and we're all children of this earth. Thank you.
I would say that women in this society feel compelled by unspoken pressures. In essence, the patriarchal system by which they must conform. They must conform to this awful system. And we're just looking at the disastrous effects.
I'd have to say that Catholic schoolgirls are compelled.
Well, I'll give you that.
Excellent contribution, gentlemen. And I thank you for your answer to my second lightning round question.
Oh, you're welcome.
This next one is, are there enough seats at American colleges and art institutes to seat our upper middle class youths of today?
You know, all the world is a venue for learning. Tell me,
Beautiful.
does the world in its vastness have enough room to seat all the world? All the world's people?
One
Let
would
us
hope.
learn from the humble apple tree, from the cherry blossom, from the volcanoes dormant and active, the clouds as they roll by, and the sun setting and rising.
I think this also goes back to the first question, that the plant will set you free.
That's beautiful. And as a side note, I'd like to ask both of you when your co-written poetry transcripts will be published for all of our listeners to hear.
Well, I'm still trying to find a publisher. I haven't had luck so far, so I think I may have to self-publish.
I understand. And I suppose now would be a good time to ask for donations for that endeavor.
Yes, DPR, Downey Public Radio. Be sure to get in touch with us, and you can make an online donation.
I'd just like to mention that my book of poetry called Heart Journeys will be released this weekend.
God, this weekend? You didn't even tell me.
This weekend.
Holy
Well,
cow.
I wanted to keep it a secret,
Oh,
and I wanted to reveal it.
that is just like
this-
you.
Yeah, I know, I can get a little loony.
Yeah.
But Heart Journeys will be available.
Heart Journey.
Will the complimentary tea dinner? I thought you would eat tea, but the
It actually comes with a signed...
what I was
Sorry, I'm choking on some jasmine. It comes with a signed lotus flower.
But will there be?
Well, the smell of cedar in this room is quite suffocating, so I understand why you're trying to get your breath back.
I thank you both for the answer to the third lightning round
It's
question.
actually a little bit of saw palmetto.
The fourth lightning round question: what is the proper way to defend yourself against a female sexual predator?
Would you like to take this one?
You're quite wheezy tonight.
I am. I think it's the saw palmetto.
I'm sorry.
The allergies.
My answer
You
to
can
that
you can collect your thoughts.
would be that I would overturn the attacker's energy with earth love.
Well, let's see. Thinking on my feet, I would try to engage her upper chakras, right in her armpits. Presumably, they're unshaven in this town, which I actually like. Do you like underarm hair on a woman?
I believe that the freeing aspects of it and the appearance that it takes on is almost as if the vine from the fruits that we all nourish ourselves on daily.
Well,
I was just thinking that.
well, for underarm hair, I just like something to hold on to, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and you know, girls like it when you pull on their hair, their underarm hair.
And why stop there?
Sorry, not girls. Females.
Females.
I like tugging their chakras.
And I accept your apology for the gratuitous use of the word girl.
Yes. That was thoughtless and careless of me. I know that has derogatory connotations. And we take all females seriously on this broadcast.
Thank you, gentlemen. Question number 5 will commence shortly. Was Beaver from the episodic television series Leave It to Beaver the downfall of youth?
My short answer would be yes.
I think the misrepresentations of the nuclear household has been damaging the
nuclear family.
Yes.
The nuclear family, yes.
I think has been paralyzing and damaging as a representation of what families should be.
Yes.
I think they've
Who are we to conform to that construct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think we've been straying off the path that our ancestors have led for us.
Yes. There's a long-standing tradition of polyamorous relationships, all sorts of configurations among the Amazonian peoples.
Yes, and the great tribes of Papua New Guinea. We've
Yes.
long forgotten their ways.
They've been studied extensively, but forgotten by Western society at large.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that you both have hit on a very important point. And if I may answer my own question, I would argue that June Cleaver, the mother, is the most destructive force of the last 50,000 years in the fact that she has been objectified as the pinnacle of this
Yes.
house mother.
Yes.
When there's not one single mother, but many mothers under the umbrella of Mother Nature.
I really do think that she's the Hitler of the 1950s.
Indeed.
Well, she never shed her chains. She remained in her own way. If you'll excuse the use of this term, but she was a kind of house Negro. And I use that. I don't use that lightly. But she just didn't want to break from her bonds, and it's what is that term? Stockholm syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
She actually grew to like her imprisonment.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, gentlemen. My next question is question number 7.
Could you slow down, by the way, Pat? We're going a little fast here.
Because we really try to analyze these as best we can. And
I know that this is the lightning round, and it's supposed to be, it's supposed to get a little crazy, and we're supposed to go a little fast, but, oh, man, my head is just rushing.
I apologize, gentlemen. I realize that I'm a new disc jockey on this program, and you have to excuse my rapidity at which I speak. I apologize.
I was just going to say, I've had 4 half-calf decaf cappuccinos today, and this is about as fast as I get, so please slow down.
Allow me, for my next lightning round question, which is number 7, to get slightly personal with you. This was not sent in by our listeners. It's actually a question from me to both of you.
Yes.
And it commences as such. I have been entrusted with the disc jockey position at my third cousin's adopted teenager's church social. Do you have any suggestions for the songs to add to my quote-unquote, if I may, playlist?
Well, they're in my heart and my mind right now, and word's been going out about them. Pussy Riot, anything from Pussy Riot, because as we all know, we must free Pussy Riot, given how that fascist Vladimir Putin has treated them for just speaking out and standing up for women's rights. So anything from them.
And perverting the word of They honored Karl Marx.
Of course, yeah.
I have 2 suggestions.
I'm all ears.
One would be anything Bjork, because she really is a child of this realm.
And the womb.
And then, The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison book on tape.
That, I think, would bring the house down.
And make sure you get the one.
As read by
Sorry,
As read by Oprah Winfrey.
as read by NYPD Blues Dennis Farina.
Actually, correction, I think that was Dennis Franz.
I'm sorry. It's that jasmine tea,
Yes. Okay, next question.
Thank you, gentlemen.
non-decaf.
This next question. Who will be the next visual artist of note in the next decade?
Well, it's hard to project into the future, isn't it? Although I try every night during
Astral projection.
my, meditative sessions. Let's see.
I menstrual project.
Wow, that's very advanced of you. I don't know. I just don't know. That's real. That's really a head scratcher. What do you think?
Dennis Franz.
Well, there is one.
I was just thinking maybe if Dennis Franz were the great artist of the next century or what have you, maybe through transgenic science, he will have been made into some kind of cyborg, and he will be a man machine, and will enjoy his art, his beautiful creations.
Actually,
I'm sure he would think differently than all of us.
Actually, Owen, I don't know if you realized it or not, but the urban provocateur Light Switch, who has a opening at LACMA this coming weekend, has actually installed a piece of installation art that mimics almost exactly what you described.
You mean a transgenically enhanced Dennis Franz?
Yes.
Well, there you have it.
Go on.
I guess I'll go on ahead and I actually have 10 questions for each of you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I'll start with you, Patrick. Favorite African American poet?
I believe my favorite African American poet would be Leroy Jones.
Leroy Jones. I've never heard of him.
He was a provocateur extraordinaire who wrote about blues music.
Really?
Yes,
Well, it all traces back to blues music, doesn't it?
it all does.
Can I just throw mine in there? I know this isn't one for me, but I just like to say Erykah Badu, I love you.
Well, she is wonderful.
She is loved by this show.
Yeah. Is nuclear disarmament still possible?
Owen, I believe that anything is possible with enough spirit and fluid.
I will have to second that. Confucius or Lao Tzu?
I believe we can all learn from everyone, so I would elect to choose neither.
Wow, that's very pacifistic of you.
Mm-hmm.
The temples of Angkor Wat.
Was that a question?
Actually, I was just trying to give you a launch pad into a think space.
Of course, a think space. Well, allow me a breath for my think space. That's much better.
I'm glad I was able to give you that moment.
Yes.
In light of China, India, and even parts of Africa turning toward free market capitalism, is the revolutionary spirit dead?
I believe as every day there's a new child born, and every drop of blood that exists in their tiny, possibly deformed bodies means that the revolution will be continuing on evermore, day by day. By day.
Sorry, there's a lot of saw pimento in here, and we're getting really sneezy.
We are.
The allergies in my lower chest area.
Yes.
I apologize.
Is there too much sandalwood in here also?
Maybe just a skosh, but I actually like it a little aggressive.
Do you
like
want a
that.
scone, by the way? You're fresh.
Oh, so I'll save that for later, thanks.
Vegan scone.
Yeah, just keep it in the refrigerator. Patrick.
I don't have a refrigerator, it's a block of ice.
Wow. Aren't we special? Patrick.
Yes, Owen.
Or do you prefer
Bryant?
Bryant?
I actually prefer the French Patrique.
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 Okay. Are you Bat or Pryant? I've never squared that away.
I believe that at some point, Pryant is what the man Brian Schumacher and the other man, myself, Patrick DeLaney, became.
Yes. Well, you guys have created a beautiful synthesis when you think about it.
We're all one.
We are. That's the aspiration. Is there a sound more beautiful than the Asan, the Islamic call to prayer?
I believe the most beautiful sound I've ever heard in my life is the opening of a daisy upon a meadow.
That's a very quiet, subtle sound, but I can see how you would think its
And yet it is
quietness was so beautiful.
And yet it is thundering to my eardrums.
Yes. A contemporary figure who's a good influence on young women.
Let's see. There's just so many to choose from. I would love to go with someone that most have never heard of, but I believe the example of power, intelligence, and tact of Hillary Rodham Clinton is of such an excellent quality that I cannot think of but her.
I would say that right now Judy Chicago's daughter is just a real up-and-comer doing these great feminist video installations.
Yeah, Stacy Chicago.
Stacey Chicago. Yeah, okay, you've heard of her.
And Pat, I'm a big HRC fan also.
Andy Sandemus as well.
What would you like to do with all the world's guns?
With all the world's guns, you spoke of the Angkor Watts earlier.
Yes.
And just this morning, I was visiting the Watts Towers. So, with all the world's guns, I would like to erect an Angkor Wat in Watts. If that at all would be possible, with generous donation from listeners.
God, there's a lot of sandalwood in here.
That is one of the most humanitarian, beautiful things I've ever heard. Final question. How will we remember President Barack Hussein Obama?
Well, I believe Dr. King, when he spoke that he had a dream, he was actually a prophet for the future. And I believe that Barack Obama...
Not unlike the prophets of Palestine, ancient Palestine.
Indeed, them as well. They spoke of Barack Obama, and he has arrived. And we have 4 more years of him before he is sent back to his home planet.
Wow. That's really beautiful.
You know, I think Barack is probably my favorite Hezbollah.
Okay, Pryant. Now it's your turn.
Yes.
If you could take all Westerners and put them at the bottom of the social order, then take Australian Aboriginals and make them the leaders of the UN and all the world's countries, would you do it?
Does my heart beat?
Last time I checked. That sounds like an affirmative.
That is the dream Dr. King spoke of.
I believe it was. Geronimo or Sitting Bull?
You know, I've always been just such a big Sitting Bull fan. I can't deny it, you know. It's his words.
I was about to say you're full of bull.
Oh. But his words just shake me. And they move me. It's like an aftershock in my heart.
Yeah, they make me want to smoke a bowl. With Sitting Bull. Bull. Close. If the modern woman is now more career-minded, independent, and free even in her use of adult toys and sex furniture, and the patriarchal idea of penetrative sex has been clinically proven to be unsatisfactory to women, where does that leave the modern man?
The modern man is only a seed.
All he ever does is try to sow his seed.
Mm-hmm.
He's an aggressor.
Yeah.
I believe we all have spoken about previously that we enjoy being accessories to the female orgasm.
Absolutely.
And I believe this is just the next step.
I would, however, just like to apologize to all of the women listeners out there. I'd like to apologize on behalf of the men of the world.
Yes. For all their offenses, all their awful misuses of testosterone and aggression.
Yeah. I'd just like to apologize.
Is it okay? Are you all right, Patrick?
It's okay, Pat.
Why do?
Are you okay, Pat?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I don't know why we let them win, Pat. I don't know why we let them win. But I just like to apologize to all you women out there. I don't like being a part of a gender full of racists
And rapists.
pigs.
And jocks. And macho douchebags.
So I just like to extend my heart to you all of you beautiful women out there.
And if she's willing and feeling up to it, your penis as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What is your favorite yoga position?
Downward dog, hands down.
Oh,
That
Bryant.
is good.
The sprightliness of your humor.
I'm sorry. That
You really
I
on
just
it tonight.
it's the lightning round.
Yeah. In light of recent strides in LGBT acceptance, does the new frontier lay in accepting the polyamorous, pederastic, fuzzy community?
Could you repeat that?
Yeah, well, it was well phrased, I must admit.
He was stirring my tea. I apologize. Thank you, Bryant.
In light of recent strides in LGBT acceptance, does the new frontier lay in accepting the polyamorous, pederastic, fuzzy community?
Yes. Our arms are always wide open.
Absolutely. We all know meat is murder, but since even a plant begins as a seed, fostered in that womb we call soil, only to gestate and mature to a point of birthing from the dirt, as well as growing over a span of months and years to live in a sunlit community of its peers, is violently pulling such a plant from the ground and eating its pliant flesh murder as well.
You know, we're walking on a slippery slope here. But what I've always believed, and will believe to this day, that cannibalism is the answer.
Owen, I must say that with the words that you have just spoken, you've opened up the eyes to the eruptions of just how much we have won and how we should just lose. I will never ingest a plant, an animal carcass.
No.
Again, I promise you.
Well, we can all aspire to be like some yogi in India who's gone without and just drunk from the Ganges River all his life. Never eaten a single thing. That's the ultimate aspiration. A better president, Jimmy Carter or Jimmy Carter?
I think, I'm gonna have to go with Jimmy Carter.
Good answer.
I really liked what he did with the whole oil crisis.
And definitely getting rid of the Shah of Iran and replacing him with...
Hezbollah.
No, not Hezbollah. The Ayatollah Khomeini.
Who's a proud Hezbollah.
Well, I'm sure he's funded the works of Hezbollah.
Barack Hussein Obama. Proud Hezbollah.
Yes. If all the world's national anthems were replaced with John Lennon's Imagine, what would happen?
I think all fear of indifference, all of our animosity, and all of our unwillingness to accept others will dissipate into another realm. A realm that we do not wish to travel to.
Well, I would
a realm
say... Yes, go on.
that only embodies men.
It only embodies men. Interesting. I was going to add that it would lower all the anthropological borders erected between us by religion. If we could just get rid of religion, then our stubborn convictions will be softened and replaced with love and acceptance.
I apologize to interject myself into the discussion, but I was wondering if I may offer a question to you, Owen, in response to your question.
Absolutely, Bat. I would say fire away, but that has a note of violence to it.
Yes, that does indeed.
Love away.
Yes, love away.
My question is, which language would Imagine be in?
I would say Tibetan.
Tibetan.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you have said that, because I wanted to correct you just in case, because I believe that using that as our national anthem would encourage those who wish to make English the universal language. And I believe that the beauty of your sentiment of creating a national unified anthem should be...
I agree that John Lennon was a beautiful man, but his first mistake was speaking English.
That was really...
if only.
Now, I'm a big Lennon fan, but that was quite selfish of him.
It was selfish to sing in that language. Okay.
And born in such an imperialist nation as Britain.
Absolutely, their atrocities are without number.
I can't believe that he had the audacity to be born there.
Yes.
And then to mock the Indian people and the Maharishi.
That really was a blight on an otherwise very, very clean respectable career. All right.
I apologize for our anger.
Yeah, sometimes we do have, it gets the best of us. We're all human in the end. More evil. Israel's occupation, and by the way, I'm using the word Israel. Israel's occupation of Gaza and the West Bank, or the barbarism of mixed martial arts. What is more evil?
I would have to say Krav Maga,
Really?
which is the official martial art of Israel.
Oh my. That is an inspired choice.
That is a combative system that they have created to stop the freedom fighters of Hezbollah.
Well, I've said it once and I'll say it again. How dare they?
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, this is your final question. Hasn't it just gone by like
This is
lightning?
my head spinning.
Okay. What you and your domestic partner of coming on 12 years now, what you and your domestic partner
My beautiful Petunia.
do on the weekends?
Well, we found an amazing herbal tea district.
Oh. Have you been there, Bat?
In West LA.
No, but just the words he spoke, they touched me.
Yes, the herbal tea district. We visit quite often. And just finding new blends and formulas from local Hezbollah growers. It's just an amazing, wonderful, romantic experience.
You guys really are in love, and it's a sight to see, I must say.
Agreed.
Let's see, who's up next?
Oh, that would be me.
Oh, boy.
Oh my gosh, I hope you guys are ready.
All right.
All right, so these questions are for both of you. Either of you can answer.
Oh, my. Okay.
You're so generous.
Very
Well,
generous.
I try to be as selfless as possible. I don't want to consider any one person too much, because after all, we are all one.
Agreed.
If Vivaldi's Rite of Spring was your unwed child, would you pay child support?
Well, what kind of court case are we talking about? I don't understand the question, I guess.
I believe in the woman's right to choose, and I believe that if unable to care for this child, I would just exercise the right, or more appropriately, I would ask my partner to exercise the right to leave Rite of Spring to the heavens.
Yes, you could encourage your girlfriend to prefer her own body to the little piece of inanimate flesh growing within her that would later become Rite of Spring.
Both wonderful answers. Question number 2. Free Tibet or expensive thorn in China's ass?
I apologize. Before we answer this question, I would like to apologize to the listeners that Bryant spoke such a word on this broadcast, but I would like to continue with the answer from Owen.
Could I hear the question repeated, please?
Please don't. We heard the question.
I will rephrase it.
Thank you.
Free Tibet or expensive thorn in China's booty?
Thank you.
Free Tibet.
Agreed.
Question number 3. Japanese post-earthquake nuclear meltdowns. Deserved payback from Earth or tragic disaster?
Well, I hate to sound like a bully, but their use of nuclear facilities, nuclear power plants, is a shame. And I believe Mother Earth was giving them their due.
I'm a firm believer in the idea that destruction on top of destruction creates new creation. And I believe that this is just Earth's way of creating a better world for us.
That's a very Eastern outlook.
Japan
I should have
is in
gone
the
that
East.
route. Now I don't like being jealous, but I'm a little jealous.
All I can say is that
We share the lifeblood, Owen.
We do. Well, we did have that blood brother ceremony a couple
Yes.
days ago.
I'd just like to say that the real winners are the whales of the Pacific Ocean.
Well, when they go unhindered and they're not overfished by Japanese fishermen.
Question number 4. Pescatarians, nature traders, or health conscious?
Well, I don't condone eating fish. I really do think it's a crime against our underwater friends. But if you feel it's necessary, who am I to step on your toes?
One day, about 7 years ago, I was at Dockweiler Beach in Marina del Rey, and a fish came upon the sand, and I shared a communion with it, in which I swore on a blood oath that I would never lay these white teeth on its slimy, wonderful skin. And I encourage all listeners to follow my lead and follow the words of Dr. King and not eat fish and not digest the innards
Wait a minute, Pat.
of our fish.
Did you hold to that commitment?
I have.
Very good. Very laudable.
Both wonderful answers.
It has been my 7-year itch.
We all have one in one form or another, and yours happens to be to do to a commitment to fish. And how you will not eat their kind.
Question number 5. If Ronald Reagan
Curse him.
was a zombie, how many times would you shoot him with hemp bullets?
There aren't enough hemp bullets in the omniverse to shoot at this man. And I hate to get violent. I really do. But for his crimes, his social injustices, I must say that.
Wow, that was a strong tone from you.
Actually, I apologize.
I don't often get worked up, but there's something about Reagan and what he represented. Go on.
I apologize for interrupting, Owen. And actually, this is a perfect time for me to mention a petition that I'm trying to get signed for a group of us like-minded to raid the corpse of Ronald Reagan and draw and quarter him across the Golden Gate Bridge. So that evil man
Boy, that sandalwood is really getting us going.
I apologize.
No, but that evil man, please finish.
That evil man into the bastion of our beautiful oceans so that he may disintegrate and be eaten by my my friends in communion, our underwater friends.
Now talk about coming full circle.
This is really awkward crying right now.
How poetic would it be for that very fish to eat the remains of such an awful, terrible influence on this world?
That is the dream that Dr. King spoke of.
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Go on.
Next question. Wonderful answers, by the way. If Che Guevara offered you a ride on his motorcycle and he was insured, but not by survival, would you take that ride?
Anywhere he would want to go, I would follow him. Always. Always.
I refuse to answer this question, for I believe that it's gotten me a little too hot and bothered to even think about sitting on a motorcycle with such a beautiful, revolutionary man god such as Che Guevara.
Yes, yes.
Fuser, as I called him.
Yes.
Wonderful answers.
I can't improve upon that.
Wonderful answers. Thank you. Next question. Castro invites you to his home for a dinner party, but there are meat and cheese platters all around. Do you partake?
Well, when in Rome, right? Only this is when in Havana. And I would definitely have to indulge myself in his honor to make him happy. Anything for Fidel.
I would like to politely decline, but as Owen so eloquently said, that when one finds oneself in Havana with the leader of the wonderful Cuban people, one must partake. But as I realize the hypothetical nature of the question, I for now will say that I will decline.
By the way, Pryant, could you maybe indulge as a pescatarian in that environment?
No.
Well, that doesn't change anything.
I would like to mention that Fidel is my favorite Hezbollah. Next question. Say, for example, you're occupying Wall Street, but tear gas and riot guards are up in your business. Do you A, return fire with fire, or B, receive your beating and recite Maya Angelou poems?
I have to go with B. I mean, the urge, the instinct is to go with A, to fight back, but you just can't do that because you know you have the moral upper hand. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to say B.
Once, about 7 years ago, I found a book on...
By the way, a lot of things happened 7 years ago.
I'm a numerologist. I was in my local public library, and I was reading a book on the beautiful, wonderful hippie culture of the 1960s. And I saw this photograph, and I will not tear up. I will not tear up.
Yeah, try not to.
It was a picture of Kent State, the horrible Kent State atrocity.
Yes. And
there was a daisy placed inside the rifle, the mouth.
Yes.
The mouth of that destructive kill organ.
Yes.
And yes. I believe I would follow that lead and place not Daisy this time, but I would take a page out of Seal's book and I would place a rose that I have kissed myself upon the batons of those riot police guards.
The only thing I could add to that is maybe if you took that gun, you could place it in Watt's Angkor Wat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Indeed. Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Nevertheless, both beautiful, beautiful answers.
Go on.
Next question. You're holding a party for human rights. Do you prefer to call it a peace rager or freedom rave?
I believe both names fit the occasion, the mirthful occasion.
I think I would go with a third option and call it the Eastern Transcendental Throwdown.
Wow, a little left field, but that's a wonderful
We
insight.
always fly in left field.
Yes.
Okay, final question.
Not to refer to baseball, by the way.
No.
Just a terrible
Which is such a
sport.
brutal.
Brutality.
Ugh.
I mean, the way that bat swings
Cracks that dead pigskin. Ugh.
and slams against that ball.
And do you realize that this... I am almost ashamed to live in the county of Los Angeles knowing that this Dodger Stadium has actually been constructed on the living tracks of so many Latino Americans.
And how many of our Mother Earth's creatures have died for those footlongs?
Absolutely. And people just gobble them up without
just-
a care in the world.
Those
They
sheep.
just put those long footlongs in their mouths.
They do. Horrible.
And the phallus symbols abound, the baseball bats.
They do. Go on.
Final question. Toni Morrison has a vegan spoken word taco stand. What does she call it?
Any ideas?
I'm just trying to run through all her books in my mind. And I'm just struck by passages that are my favorites that dare not speak their name.
I guess I stumped you guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a wonderful question, but I'm not feeling too creative right now. It's just not coming to mind. I was thinking of something like the right to choose, a woman's right to choose tacos, or something like that. A woman's right to eat vegetarian.
I actually know a advertising agency that would be perfect for that. We can just call them. Do you think we can get in contact with Toni?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah. I do know, because I've been talking to her through email correspondence, and she told me that one of the items on the menu is called the bluest chai latte.
The bluest chai latte.
Bluest chai. It's a beloved item.
I would love one of those right now, to be honest.
Well, I think that concludes our lightning round.
Yes, yes. Boy,
It was, as they say in the parlance of our times, a doozy.
it was. You know, that really just blazed by.
Surprisingly enough, though, we've been going for quite a while here.
Oh, boy. It's just been a flash.
Yeah. Well,
I suppose we're going to have to wrap it up.
Well,
does anybody have any final words? Or?
I do believe we will have to wrap it up because I see in the next room over, I see the ukulele quartet that has been tuning and practicing. I'm sorry, boys. We'll be done in a
yes.
moment.
Ah, boy, they're going to be great, though, aren't they? I kind of want to hang around just to hear 'em.
I think I will too.
Yeah.
I'll get us some bluest chais.
Oh, that would be terrific. And say hi to Toni for me,
Oh,
by
yes.
the way.
Say hi to Toni.
I would
Tony.
like to read something though.
Oh, really? Some
before,
kind of...
before we end.
Is this an excerpt from Hearts?
This is an excerpt from an amazing article written by Jada Pinkett Smith.
and what does it concern?
Well, the article, I think this will answer that, is called "The War on Men Through the Degradation of Women."
Oh, my. Okay, well, you have my attention.
I wish we started with this.
I just wanted to read an excerpt of it.
Okay.
It's just amazing. Okay. There is a deep sadness when I witness a man that can't recognize the emptiness he feels when he objectifies himself as a bank and truly believes he can buy love with things and status. It is painful to to witness the betrayal when a woman takes him up on that offer.
You're telling me?
Power and control will never outweigh love. May we all find our way. Jada Pinkett Smith.
Selah. Selah. That.
They will never win. We are not winners. We are not winners.
Pat
I'm sorry.
has been touched many
Numerous
times
times.
tonight.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry.
Pat has really been projecting his Hezbollah.
Now, was it your switch from Darjeeling to Assam, or what's going
It
on?
might have been. I might have to check with my chiropractor.
Yeah. Well, I'm certainly concerned for your well-being.
Thank you.
Okay, I suppose it's time to wrap it up. I mean, it's always hard to say those words, but
Yeah. But I think this was a really amazing show tonight. I really felt like there was just something in the air that our chakras aligned, and that we really became one.
May I ask both of you something? May we end this beautiful radio program with a very manly, macho tongue kiss?
Yes. Yes,
Thank
we
you.
could.
I'm sorry, but this would have to be between you two, because me and my lovely Petunia, that's my nickname for him, love you, will have to be strictly between you two.
Okay, well, I respect your sense of monogamy, even though polygamy is also acceptable to me.
Are you ready, Owen?
I'm very much ready, and by the way, I understand the intent behind this gesture, because we have to apologize as the male race to a lot of sins, many manifold sins. And if this is the least we can do,
It is.
then by gods or goddesses, let's please carry on. Oh, God.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Is that arugula I tasted?
Actually, it's a pimento.
Well, I'd just like to close by saying that once again, I'd like to thank the freedom fighters of Hezbollah. And I'd like to thank the love that was just displayed by Owen and Bat. I'd like to thank that love.
And I'd also like to speak up and say that beautiful fish somewhere swimming around in the ocean, to whom you made such a commitment, Pat. I love you. I love that fish. And
I love it too. And it loves us.
In some ways, he is kind of the mascot of this show. And I'd like to see a draft of maybe a logo to represent this broadcast, because his spirit is just undying and truly instrumental in what we're about, you know.
Perhaps the Photoshop classes that you have been taking at the local community college could be dispensed
Yes.
for
yeah.
such a task.
By the way, my teacher, Peggy Richards, a beautiful transgender man.
We salute you, Peggy. Well, yeah, I think that settles that.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well,
I thank you for this catharsis.
As always. It was it was my pleasure. It
I was
all
actually
our
speaking
pleasure.
to the audience, but I also thank you, Owen, and
Yes,
you,
well.
Bryant.
You're not a bad kisser, by the way.
And I'd just like to remind everyone to add us at our Facebook page. Please like us. And you can find us through my Hezbollah fan page.
Okay. Well,
All right. Well, good night, everybody.
good night, everyone.
Good night.